Good afternoon. So I did a GEMS article, the Journal of Emergency Medicine, on EMS law lines and basically COVID's impact on EMS documentation requirements. Um, the article starts out about how society has changed and things, and particularly in EMS, how our usage of PPE has greatly increased, and what used to be a deep sanitation being a once in a while bad call type thing has now become the norm. It's The article further went on to talk about social distancing and how the health community has started to utilize telehealth and the challenges that faces with getting um, physician certifications and signatures and things of that nature. One, because agencies aren't wanting patients to touch their pens or their computers or styluses and things, to eliminate the contamination or potential for spreading of COVID. Um, and the interesting part is the Department of Health or Human and Health Services has actually acknowledged that these new kind of social changes and challenges, and especially in the field of community health, has started authorizing these teleconference visits as opposed to originating in like a patient's home, where they used to actually have to be authorized and originate within a doctor's office. So that's a good change that actually has come out with COVID. Is we're seeing a lot more usage of the telehealth and keeping people at home and less exposed. The other half of that is in some districts and stuff, and some organizations are actually being able to transport patients to other places, quick care units, doctors' offices, things like that. Not all so much the emergency room and inundating the emergency room with these visits. The big correlation that this ends up tying into is how we as EMS have to document this stuff. If we're, for instance, if we're, where it used to be, we would get a patient refusal. We would simply just have the patient sign and stuff. Where now, new protocols and stuff are in place that we are not, are not having the patient sign. It goes back to, documentation being the key on how we get the point across that the patient was well informed and provided expressed consent that yes, they did not want to go to the hospital. These were the reasons. The same thing with and the fact that with these new protocols or procedures that the patient understood, refused care, but we did not have a legal signature binding saying that I, in fact, with my signature, wrote and say that we don't want to go to the hospital. The other half of that is if agencies are transporting patients to alternative facilities like doctor's offices or quick cares or things like that, it also, it becomes a documentation challenge as far as that aspect is, and why, and you have to be clear and concise in why the patient went there as opposed to the emergency room. So all in all, it was a very interesting article, and I think as far as this class and how we've talked about documentation, I thought it was an article that well related to not only this year of COVID, but also the documentation struggles and everything, and how the health system and the Department of Human and Health Services has really identified these problems early on and come up with some very interesting and some very good solutions. And it was kind of an educational article, like I said, that I think fits in, kind of ties in with the theme of the semester and everything. So that was my article, and hope you enjoyed. Thanks.